Hello and welcome back to LATAM Weekly. I'm Gustavo Ribeiro, Editor-in-Chief of the Brazilian Report, and this week I'm going to talk to Lucas Berti, who is our Latin America correspondent. Lucas, hello and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Gustavo.
So, Lucas, Latin America was the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic just 7-8 months ago, and now the region, surprisingly, has become the place in the world with the highest overall vaccination rates, with about 2/3 of the population already immunized, which is more than Europe or North America or Africa. But still, we're going to see, and we are already experiencing, a major surge in coronavirus cases due to the arrival of the Omicron variant to countries like Brazil, Argentina, or Colombia. So what is the outlook for the region now in year 3 of the pandemic?
Yeah, Gustavo, most Latin American countries see daily infections rising due to the Omicron variant, but they cannot say the same for hospitalizations and deaths. Argentina, for example, has broken new records for new daily infection in the past couple of weeks, and most, if not all, countries in the regions could experience the same. But Brazil, for instance, saw its average of new cases multiply by 10 between Christmas and now.
Yeah, and the problem with Brazil is also that we're pretty much flying blind through this new wave because the health ministry was hacked in mid-December. Systems were disrupted and unavailable for days, and now there are still some databases that have not been accessible to researchers and epidemiologists. So it is dangerous mix. We're seeing cases going up and we're not managing to fully assess the extent of the problem. And just before we continue, I would like to remember people who are watching us to please subscribe to the Brazilian Report. Our business model is totally based on subscriptions. So you are our bosses, and please go to Brazilian.report. And you can have different kinds of subscriptions for all kinds of needs and budgets, from $3.90 all the way up to $19.90. Or if you are already a subscriber, you can buy us a coffee and feel our journalistic work. Just go to buymeacoffee.com/Brazilian Report. Now, Lucas, should we expect new restrictions to curb COVID infections in Latin America? Because the region is highly dependent on the informal economy, and as much as lockdowns were necessary at several stages of this pandemic, they have been quite crippling to the local economies.
Yeah, that's true. But some restrictions could come back, but we should not expect to see those lockdown-like measures we saw in 2020 and last year. Governments cannot afford to do it either economically or politically. The Latin American economy is too dependent on the informal labor sector, and trying to force people to stay home now would be a disaster. There are some sectors which could be closed, like indoor restaurants, but they were hurt over the past few years, and new restrictions could deliver a death blow to thousands of businesses.
Right, but I mean, if not with restrictions, in which way are countries answering or not answering to the new wave?
Well, most governments in the region have not yet fully appreciated how economically disruptive the Omicron variant can be. Not in the same way the coronavirus was in the past. People are not needing to go to the hospital as much anymore, but we just need to look to the US to predict what is to come in Latin America, like multiple sectors of the economy will suffer with too many workers on sick leave, even if for short periods of time. That has started to happen in sectors such as air travel and restaurant. And so far, only Chile has announced actions specifically targeting Omicron, like giving out 4 boosters vaccine shots. What we should expect in 2022 is countries trying to handle these big surges of new cases as part of a new normal scenario.
And of course, we at the Brazilian Report are going to follow all the developments in Brazil and in Latin America. You can stay tuned on Brazilian.report or on Twitter, Instagram, our handle is Brazilian Report. Thank you very much, Lucas, and welcome back. You had left us for a brief stint at El País, but we're very glad to have you back. So Happy New Year and welcome back.
Thanks, Gustavo. Happy to coming back.
Bye-bye.